Hey guys, welcome to the first book review on my channel. I know that's what the YouTube algorithm really supports. So yeah, that's the reason I haven't really done one. It's just they're not really famous for getting a ton of views on YouTube. But with the recent release of the movie, I thought it would be somewhat relevant time to cover the famous novel Ready Player One, written by Ernest Cline. Spoilers ahead. In a way, Ready Player One basically has the same plot as a lot of the pop culture references. You know, it's a blockbuster. It's a light, fun read, but it lacks substance. There's not much to sink your teeth into, and when there is, it's just really underdeveloped and forced. For instance, there's this emphasis on the idea that the Oasis, the virtual reality everyone lives in, is just a way for people to escape the awful reality of the situation of this energy crisis. And the author really just, you're just supposed to take their word for it. They don't really fully describe actually what's going on. There's no real connection to the characters. It happens. But in my opinion, you just can't get invested in something you can't really picture. But instead, the author just opts for repeating the same mantra over and over and over again. That's kind of a mistake a lot of writers make. It's like, if you repeat something enough, it makes it deep. The thing is called the Oasis. There is an absolute lack of subtlety there. Another thing that really bothered me is the overbearing presence of the author's voice. I could not avoid reading this novel as just the author inserting his own thoughts into these characters. So they didn't really feel like real characters. And even like all the pop culture references and stuff just feel like the author's excuse to obsess about, these things he loved when he was little, this nostalgia, but it doesn't really have a place in the story. Like, it doesn't fit with this concept. Like, I know the creator of the virtual reality liked this stuff, but why is it that the people who just participate in the virtual reality, like everyone else, I mean, this is a staple of everyday life by now, why are they so obsessed with that? And why in like a space where you can literally create anything you want, you can do whatever you want, why is everyone so obsessed with remembering things that existed in the real world? It just seems counterintuitive to this whole, it doesn't make any sense, really. It just feels like a missed opportunity. The most fun parts of the book to read were the parts where he creatively discusses the mechanics of this virtual reality. I know it's just sort of exposition, but that stuff was a little more interesting, and it didn't just rely on nostalgia and brand recognition. Of course, I mentioned I really don't like the characters, and that's because they're all stereotypes. They really are. Like, two people having a relationship in virtual reality could have been interesting, but like, Wade and Artemis are just really annoying. Like, you can't really connect with them anyway. I just hated Wade's cockiness and Artemis's trope of this strong girl gamer person. I don't know, both of them were just kind of unbearable to read about for the most part. And there's a significant portion of the book where she was teasing him as what if I'm just an ugly 30-year-old man? And it turns out she's fine with what? So that part of the story had absolutely no weight at all. It was completely unnecessary and just to fill pages. There was no payoff to that. Well, what's the message here? There's nothing. I mean, I guess it would have been predictable if she actually was that, but I don't know, it'd make for a better story rather than just adding a ton of dialogue that hints to that for no reason. Shoto and Daido are just complete Japanese stereotypes. Super cringy to read them repeatedly say "Arigato, Parzival-san." Like, come on. Like, I don't even care if Japanese people actually do that. Like, it's just really weird for an American author to write something like that. H was okay. I mean, didn't get much time in the book at all. But, you know, the twist where H turns out to be this black lesbian girl in real life, you know, it was mildly interesting. Didn't have enough payoff to really be a brilliant twist or anything, but nevertheless, it was nice to see in a book filled with little surprises and just a bunch of cliches, so it was cool. I'd like to point out that on the back of the book, it says, "The Grown-Ups Harry Potter." What an insult to the entire series of books. Like, seriously, this book does very little to be mature. Honestly, it just has these little things in there to remind you it's a young adult novel. Like, references to meat beating and using big boy words like indentured. It's honestly baffling to me that these characters are 18 because they act like the people on like the voice chat of Call of Duty. Like, by the way, H, who turns out to be lesbian, is using gay as an insult when her friend likes Lady Hawk. There's only so much edgy gamer lingo I can handle. I'm sorry. Shocking as it may be, I don't absolutely hate this book. It's good enough to keep you reading, just not good enough to like add to your collection and pick up again. I was invested and entertained, but it pales in comparison to the other sci-fi I've read on just a more complex level. I think with a better writer, this book could have been really, really good. Even with the, hello fellow kids backdrop. I hope the movie is better. I might catch it when it comes on streaming or something. But yeah, there's my first book review. Probably next, I might review the first Harry Potter book, but that may be later down the line. I don't know. Let me know if you enjoyed this first one. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you like my other content for some reason. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. And Mighty Roar, Gunter for Life Pass. I'm a Gunter. Oh, hello, fellow Gunters. Sixers, beware. Ooh, I don't want any Sixers liking this video. Get out of here.